Sound familiar? I don't know about you, but I've heard that Figaro tout his name and importance over and over again. Figaro here, Figaro there, Figaro everywhere. Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. We get it. Let's see what all the hubbub is about. The Barber of Seville. With a plot about as confusing as whale watching in Idaho, and with a story where everything works out for everyone in the end, is this even opera? You bet. Stay with me here. The wealthy Count Almaviva is in love with Rosina, but the Count doesn't want Rosina to love him for his money, so he's disguised as a poor student named Lindoro, but he also disguises himself as a drunk soldier by the suggestion of Figaro to gain access to Rosina's house. Meanwhile, Rosina is housed with her guardian, Dr. Bartolo, who in turn wishes to marry Rosina for her dowry, and looks, mind you. But he is no fan of the Count, so the Count becomes Don Alonso, a music teacher, to regain access to Rosina's home. The cops come to arrest the Count, but it's okay because he tells them and Rosina of his real identity. But only them, and all is fine, but everyone is confused. Got it? Me neither. Here we go. We open our story in the courtyard outside of Dr. Bartolo's house, where Lindoro, remember this is Count Almaviva in disguise number 1, has brought together a group of musicians in the hopes of wooing Rosina with his song. After no sign of a Romeo and Juliet moment, Lindoro pays the musicians, who in turn make a loud scene of thanks and joy, but they really screw the whole sneaking thing up. Oh boy, remember all those Figaros? Ugh, here we go again. I'm very important. Yes, we heard the song, Figaro. As a former servant to Count Almaviva, the Count enlists Figaro's stellar mind to help him win over Rosina and try to gain access to her. Figaro, the king of plots, devises a plan to disguise the Count as a drunken soldier, because clearly we need more disguises. Dr. Bartolo will have to house you due to the billet order, so let's get you all liquored up, my friend. And for an idea this great, I hope you'll be paying me something of equal worth. The Count pays Figaro handsomely, and the men are off to the next step. Oh, poor Rosina. Can you imagine being practically held captive by someone who is just waiting for you to be old enough to marry? Yikes! But alas, she has heard Lindoro's song and longs for the sweet atmosphere of his voice.
Una voce poco fa, qui nel cor mi risvolò, il mio cor ferito e già
I must write Lindoro a letter. I cannot bear him not knowing my feelings. She quickly writes the letter and leaves the room. In truly operatic fashion, Dr. Bartolo enters the room just as Rosina leaves. He is clearly puzzled by something. I don't trust that Count one bit. He's clearly on the search for a way to win over Rosina and add all of her wealth to his. It is what rich people do, and I want to be one of them. I can't let the Count ruin my plan. He hatches a plan to spread rumors about the Count in hopes of sullying his name. Yes, she, and more importantly her dowry, will be mine. Fresh off the costume shop rack, the Count appears at Dr. Bartolo's house in his soldier outfit. You would think that the Count cares more about how many costumes he gets to wear rather than Rosina, but here we are. Clearly having some practice, the Count barges in a drunken and unintelligible fit. As a soldier in the army, I demand the right to lodge here this evening. My duty exceeds all of your preconceptions, and this is now my sleep place. Not so fast, soldier. I have been given special exemption from the billet order. Let me find the paperwork. Good one, Doctor. I'll go find a place to fall. As Dr. Bartolo heads to find the paperwork to get this drunk out of his house, the Count has a window of opportunity. He leans into Rosina and whispers, Psst, Rosina, it's me, Lindoro. Don't say anything. Here. By this time, the doctor has returned, and the Count attempts to fight with Bartolo. You think that the piece of paper can keep me from my Figaro? Oh, boy. Stop it, your hoots and hollers are disturbing the whole neighborhood. You better be careful or... At that very moment, we hear the call of the guards and the rush of footsteps. Officer, remove that drunken soldier! Who is Lindoro or Count Almaviva, whatever helps you keep track. At once! The officer makes his way towards the Count, and just as he is about to arrest him, the Count leans in close. Psst, it's me. Something clearly important was said, and the officer takes a step back and stops arresting the Count. Everyone is confused, and Figaro, well, Figaro, ha 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 ha. And that's the end of Act 1. Woo, we made it. Any questions thus far? Yes? Great, let's keep going. Like things weren't simple enough, the next ploy in getting our lovers together begins with, that's right, yet another costume. The Count dons the garb of a music teacher and approaches Dr. Bartolo's house. Dear Dr. Bartolo, I am Don Alonso, and I am here to cover for Rosina's music teacher, who has sadly fallen ill. Fallen ill? This is the first I've heard of it. What are you really doing here, Don Alonso? I speak no lie, and in fact, while at Count Almaviva's estate, I found this rather strange letter from Rosina. Clearly forgetting Don Alonso's reason for being there, Dr. Bartolo yanks the letter out of the Count's, still Don Alonso's, hand. Aha! See it here? This, Lindoro, is clearly an act devised by the Count Almaviva to steal my Rosina and my dowry. I shall tell Rosina that I received this letter from another woman so she can see the infidelity. Yes. Good Sir Don Alonso, you have made me very happy. Please go on and do your music lesson. Clearly the victor, Don Alonso, or Lindoro, or Count Almaviva, or whoever, heads off to find Rosina while Dr. Bartolo sits down for a rest. But obviously, we haven't heard from Figaro enough, so here he comes. Hello, Dr. Bartolo. Here for your shave, my lord. While Figaro is shaving Dr. Bartolo, he steals the key to Rosina's balcony window. Meanwhile, Lindoro and Rosina are conspiring about eloping together that very evening. Figaro and I will come to your window tonight and take you away with us. What is this treachery in my house? Uh-oh. Bartolo overheard them somehow and has flown into a rage. Everyone disperses quickly before things get out of hand. Dr. Bartolo, now aware that there is indeed a plan of some sort in order, hears that Count Almaviva is in town. That no-good scum. Of course he's here now. Quickly, bring me the notary so that I may wed Rosina this very evening. But I must get her consent first. Let's see. Yes, I'll show her the letter proving Almaviva's lust. After showing her the letter, Rosina falls into the doctor's manipulation and agrees that the Count is clearly a womanizer and that she will marry the doctor. The moment of truth has arrived, and what better signifier than a terrifying thunderstorm? Almaviva and Figaro approach the house with a ladder to follow the plan, but as they enter Rosina's room, she is clearly not pleased.
Can you explain this?
It is time you know who I truly am, dear Rosina. I am Count Almaviva, and I have been disguising myself as Lindoro in the hopes that you would fall in love with me rather than my money.
Oh, brother, I hope they make this quick.
But as luck would have it, their ladder disappeared, and just at that very moment the notary arrived. The Count makes the notary marry him to Rosina in that very room, and the marriage is quickly completed.
Ah!
Dr. Bartolo enters in a storm of fury, but he is too late.
Even taking your only escape route couldn't keep you at bay, eh, Count? What do you think you're doing with my dowry? Oh, I mean my wife.
We all heard that slip, bud. You clearly don't care about Rosina, and I have no care for her money. So here, have it, you filth! In a truly bizarre wrap-up to the story, Dr. Bartolo is pleased with his dowry, and the two lovebirds head off to live their new lives far away from any of this madness. And
Figaro, 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 Figaro!
oh boy, I think I'm done here. But don't worry, folks. Figaro always finds a way to weasel his way into a story or two. I'm sure this isn't the last we've heard of him.